Legislation Committee meeting. In the meeting we had last night, I realized I've only been on council for 11 months, and compared to my colleagues, Councilman Shields and the President Council, John Coyne, I'm quite a junior member of City Council. But let me start by saying that City Council did have a meeting last night with the Medina City School Board, and I wish y'all could have been here to hear about the good cooperation and how this administration and Medina City Schools are working together. It was something to hear, and if you're local and you weren't able to be here, it'd be a great thing to take a look at on the cable program to see just what good things are happening in the school system thanks to that kind of cooperation. When we start here tonight, I'm going to actually read something, which isn't typical, but I have noticed that sometimes when I speak off the cuff, I get a bit long-winded, kind of verbose. And I thought tonight, because this is, I would write this down to make sure I got it right, and so that I wouldn't talk very long. But I want to make this point ahead of time. Frequently, whenever there's an issue that appears for some reason to be controversial, I think that we have a tendency to look at folks that we disagree with through that lens of disagreement and see them in that one-dimensional way. And having taught American literature for 16 years, I was thinking about some of the books and some of the work I did to try to help students see what character is about. And of course, if you look at books like Scarlet Letter or Huckleberry Finn, but the one that came to mind, of course, was Atticus Finch and To Kill a Mockingbird. And this is exactly what I'm going to do, and however you feel about this issue, I would ask everybody here to do the same thing. If I'm a business person and this industry is relative in some way to my business, and there is opposition to it, in all likelihood, my reaction would be that I would feel threatened. Be it this issue or if it was something else and it was relative to my business. In the same sense, if I'm a homeowner and I look at this issue and I feel threatened by it, I will look at it just that way. But as Atticus Finch taught us, and Atticus Finch to me, after 16 years and reading it maybe 30 times, he became a living, breathing kind of character. And when he talked to his children, and he said, if you want to really get to know somebody, you have to get in their shoes and walk around for a while. So whichever way you look at this issue, I'd like you to suspend that somewhat and also look at it from the other angles that exist of people that are in different professions, people that are in different areas and view it differently. And by doing that, not only at this meeting, but at the next 2 or 3 meetings that we will have on this issue, as well as anything else that comes up within the community. That seems to me to be a healthy way to approach an issue so that we can really come to a good conclusion. And that is how this city government, in my view, works. And that's how we work best with people in this community and with business people and industry. So if we can take that Atticus Finch approach and put ourselves in the shoes of other people with other views and legitimize that for them, I think we will be able to move forward in a pretty good way. So here's the written part. So tonight's meeting, in my view, tonight's meeting will give us an opportunity to hear firsthand from residents of communities who are dealing close up with the drilling issue. We're going to hear from a gentleman from Mansfield. City of Mansfield's also dealing with this, but he isn't able to make it, but I'm pretty sure we get him back in another meeting. So the purpose of tonight's meeting, as well as those scheduled in the early months of next year, is to gain insight from a variety of sources regarding possible issues that could arise if drilling occurred within our jurisdiction, as well as consideration of the likelihood of drilling occurring at all due to our local geology. This is a learning process that will be conducted in a thoughtful way through civil discourse. What this is not, it is not a public hearing, and it is not a debate, and it is not an us versus them with an opportunity to score points. Rather, this is an opportunity for our local government, residents, and the business community to take a step back from the larger issue of fracking and the often heated national debate and simply look at our own place, look at our own community within our own boundaries, and determine if any action is necessary. In the next few days, I intend to discuss this issue with members of the Medina Chamber of Commerce. As I emphasized the important role the schools play in the success of our community, as I did that last night in the meeting, likewise, our business community, led by our local chamber, has played and continues to play an equally positive role in Medina's success and deserves a place in this discussion. I welcome their invitation and look forward to that meeting. Going forward, in January, I will be meeting with City Council members from a variety of communities across the state. Some of them feel drilling is added to their community's prosperity. Some have issues with ongoing drilling within their community. Others have legislated restrictions of one form or another. Our special legislation meeting in January will feature experts providing us with a detailed explanation of the hydraulic fracturing process and insight into the geology of our area relative to its value for drilling. Public participation and questions will follow that meeting's presentation. The third meeting will include representatives from the state, during which the committee, council, the administration, mayor will have an opportunity to both discuss the drilling issues as well as the issue of home rule. Following the February meeting, the need for further meetings will be determined by the committee. So with that, I will introduce the speakers that we have scheduled for tonight, and they are Tish O'Dell, who's from Broadview Heights. Broadview Heights has an active drilling within their community. And Pat Volt, also from Broadview Heights, and I'm not sure she's here yet, but Eliza Young also will be speaking. So first of all, Tish O'Dell from Broadview Heights, if you'd like to address this, we'd appreciate that.
First of all, I would like to thank all of you for inviting us to speak with you this evening and share our experiences regarding oil and gas drilling in Broadview Heights. I also commend you for listening to your residents and hopefully to all of us this evening. A few years ago, you wouldn't have been able to have something like this and invite people with experiences to share with you because we are some of the first communities to go through this issue. I will tell you from firsthand experience that as you embark on this journey to find information and answers to your questions, it won't be easy. One article you read will link you to 10 more. Some articles are written by the industry and some are written by environmental groups. Some are written by universities who, after you delve a little further, you will find out that their study was funded by the industry or possibly by an industry-funded group. Finding unbiased factual information on this topic can be challenging, to say the least. Sometimes a guide is to follow the money, though. So I want to tell you right up front here that I'm not being paid to speak with you tonight, and I have no financial gain whatsoever in the decisions that you ultimately make. What I do have at stake in this is that I'm a fellow resident of Ohio, and I live only 24 miles from here. So what you do here in Medina, just like what we do in Broadview Heights, can have an impact on the air we all breathe, the soil we grow our food in, and the water we drink. Broadview Heights, in case you are not familiar, is a 13 square mile chartered Ohio city just 11 miles south of Cleveland. We started out as a rural community just like you, and over the years we have grown to a residential suburb of about 18,000 residents. In 2004, we had maybe a handful of vertically drilled wells in our city. Then in about 2006, that year things started to change. Drilling companies came in and approached churches, schools, and our city hall to sign leases. One would go up next to a picnic pavilion, then one would go next to a playground, then one on City Hall property. No one paid much attention to this, and all three of these entities we know were always looking at ways to increase their revenues. Once this phase was complete, the drilling companies moved into our neighborhoods. They promised homeowners big royalty checks and free gas. When residents would ask about the safety, they simply stated that the state closely regulates this and monitors